panel. Suhel, what does this tell you about the political will of the nation and the character of a leader leading the nation, that within minutes the decision was taken by the Prime Minister in Riyadh while he was away, when he was told that this has happened in Pahalgam?
See, it's been evident, Pranesh, ever since Narendra Modi took office, that this is going to be an office which takes decisions. When Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, the Prime Minister was in office but not in power. Sonia Gandhi was in power but not in office. Here, the power and the office are with one man, AB. His style, both as Chief Minister then and as Prime Minister now, has been one where decision-making is the ultimate attribute that he seeks, not only from himself but from all his people. Also, Pranesh, for all the idiots, pardon my slight French, for all the idiots who believe that we stumbled initially, which was part of the fake narrative presented to us by the CNNs and the New York Times of the world, it is now apparent that we worked to a strategy. We weren't stumbling from one block to the other. We weren't relying on rogue countries like Turkey to, supplement our cause. Ours was a fight for humanity. Theirs was a fight to save terror and terrorism and terrorists. I think what Navika and you have said about the way the decision was taken, the immediacy with which it was taken, also is a great motivator, Pranesh. Great leaders lead from the front. They take a decision and they expect people to buy into that decision because they communicate that decision based on logic, purpose, and objective. All three were communicated by Narendra Modi, both to his people as well as to the general janta, the general citizenry of India. That is important. That is leadership.
Right. Stay with us. We have more details that we are going to unravel. Here's chapter number 2, the big breaking input as we, decode Operation Sindoor files. How this entire operation took off. The battle planning began, and Navika will now share the details.
Absolutely. And we're bringing to you the fact that the Prime Minister came, and these visuals, everybody has seen before. These visuals are etched in our mind. When the Prime Minister landed at Delhi airport, where he was briefed by the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, he summoned the NSA, who also had traveled back from Riyadh to Delhi with him, and all of them had a meeting at the airport itself, where the stock was taken on what would be the world's response and how India should proceed in this manner, because retribution and Pakistan needed to be made to pay for this is something that had been settled as the bottom line. Foreign Secretary, Foreign Minister, NSA and Prime Minister meeting at the airport just showed how important decision making and the time was at this point in time. And not just this. Let me give you the story, and that's the next big story coming up. We will tell you the meetings, the 47 meetings that led to the 7th of May attacks on the terror camps. 47 meetings, a full intelligence and defense network that planned for 15 days. 15 days, 47 meetings. That's what it took to make a meticulous plan. And these meetings, Pranesh, where do you think these meetings were held? Do you think they were held at South Block? I'm asking you this question because it is a riddle for you.
I don't know. It's a calculated guess, perhaps at the office of the National Security Advisor or in South Block. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, none of these meetings of those 14 days were held anywhere in the Defense Ministry or the South Block or the NSA office or any of the defense chiefs' offices. Not at the Air Force headquarters, not at the Navy headquarters, not at the Army headquarters. These meetings, 47 of them, were held at a safe house location where there was no digital footprint. Meetings, meticulous plannings, sometimes running through the night and the day. There were times when all of them met together for coordination. There were times when there was preparation for army, which meeting was held by NSA heading it. Then there was the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Anil Chauhan, and then sometimes the Army Chief, sometimes the Air Force Chief, sometimes the Navy Chief, individually, and then together. Many rounds of these meetings took place, and the Prime Minister was routinely, periodically advised on how far the plans had been worked out. All of this happening with an absolute clear agenda. When to strike Pakistan, how to strike Pakistan, and the agenda was maximum damage, minimum risk. That was the bottom line. No risk, maximum damage to Pakistan.
15 days, 47 meetings, that makes it 3 meetings a day, more than 3 meetings a day, tells you about the intensity with which this team was working. There's more, viewers. Here's chapter 4 of Operation Sindoor Files, breaking exclusively on Times Now. What were the deciding factors? How were targets in Pakistan locked? Navika, Kumar with the details.
Well, clearly, at this moment, let me tell you, there were 3 major issues, in fact, that were decided. The Prime Minister's objective was very clear. This should be a message to the world. This should be a message to Pakistan. And this should be a message to Indians that terrorism will not make us die down, not bow down. We will not step back. We will not be defensive. The message to the world was, we didn't need your help. If we were left alone in this battle, India would fight alone. And to Pakistan, panga mat lena. India is going to hit back. Enough of this terror game that has been played. And let me tell our viewers tonight and our panelists, and Sushant Sareen, I want to come to you. But first here, the four counters on which the entire plan was made. Every single decision, every single plan had to have 4 factors that it needed to fulfill. The success rate on a scale of 0 to 5, range of our equipment, range and preparedness of Pakistan's equipment and army, and the least chance of interception. These were the bottom line factors that needed to be satisfied to pick up a plan. 10 plans were made. 3 of them were picked up. Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. And Sushant Sareen, important that these factors, least chance of interception and the success rate of a plan, because 0 to 5 was the scale on which each plan was measured. Is this India's clarity of thought that minimum risk and maximum damage was the objective?
Navika, I believe minimum risk and maximum damage always has to be objective. But I think what is even more important was that this is a government that was willing to take the risk. Very often you had governments in India which were simply not ready to take any risk. There was a certain amount of, I won't say cowardliness. I think that's not the correct word, but there was this hesitation, this fear, this pusillanimity that if we do something, then we don't know, maybe the heavens will fall. I think most importantly, it was the resolve of this government to make sure that they are going to visit retribution on the enemy. And I think that is the single most important thing. After that, it is a matter of preparation. After that, it's a matter of calculation, and you bring in all the synergy of your intelligence agencies, your defense forces, your political establishment, your diplomatic establishment. You pool everything together to make sure that everybody is working as a unit, which exactly is what has happened. And what is remarkable, Navika, and I'm sure journalists like you would really not be very happy with that, because Delhi is a city which has been famous for leaks or infamous for leaks. And I think the one thing which we have seen in the last 10 years of this government, 11 years of this government, is leaks don't happen. when there are serious plans at work, there are no leaks. Now, as analysts, all of us were expecting something is going to happen. Something has to happen. But let me tell you, even I was taken aback by the sheer audacity of what we did on the night of 6th and 7th. The kind of targets we selected, the 100% success rate of hitting all those targets, and the fact that we continued to go up the escalation ladder. We were not ready to back down. And I think all of that shows that how the granular level at which we planned. And Navika, allow me half a minute more. I was always of the view that we have to take kinetic action. It is unavoidable. It is a necessity. But I was also of the view that please take kinetic action after you have taken into account all the you've gamed the reaction of the enemy. And I can tell you one thing, Navika. I myself am surprised by the sheer success of what we have managed to achieve, that in just 3 or 4 days, we've destroyed virtually the entire air defense system of the Pakistanis. The kind of damage we have inflicted on them in just 3 or 4 days. And had this operation gone on, the Pakistan Air Force would have been decimated. I think we ourselves didn't want to escalate beyond a point because this operation had limited objectives. And I must say that this operation has achieved all those objectives and more, because the Pakistanis were stupid enough to think that they could try and challenge us, try and hit back, and not expect any retaliation in return. And that happened, and we continued to scale up our retaliation. So, frankly, salute to the political establishment, the military establishment, the diplomatic guys, and of course our agent Vinods and phantoms and babies of the intelligence.